He took away my choices. They all did. But I kept going back to the same politicians. I fell for the same old lies. They were just playing with my emotions, telling me what I wanted to hear. That's not right. Then I realized that I have the power. Think. Vote.
Hello there and welcome to Lunchtime News here on TV1. I'm Amavi Banugoda. Let's start off by taking a look at your headlines this afternoon.
Results of the LPTA Pradeshya Sabha election to be issued by 10 p.m. today. An elephant killed in a train accident in Valikanda. Explosion sets Iranian oil tanker ablaze off Jeddah's coast.
In your lead story this afternoon, the LPTA Pradeshya Sabha election is currently underway. The polling station will be closed for voting at 4 p.m.
The Galle District Returning Officer Somaratna Vidana Patirana said voting commenced at 47 polling stations today. 53,384 voters are registered to cast their vote. Our correspondent noted the voters were turning up at their respective polling stations to cast their vote. This was the manner in which the voting took place at the LPTA Primary School, LPTA Ananda College, Teresa Vidyalaya and Sri Sudharma Rama Viharaya. Police officers have been deployed to ensure security at the polling stations. "115 candidates from 5 leading political parties will compete, among which 28 representatives will be selected for the Pradeshya Sabha. The counting of votes will be carried out at the polling stations. The results of the elections will be released from the polling stations situated at the Vocational Training Authority in LPTA. Police media spokesperson SP Ruwan Gunasekara said a special security program has been implemented in line with the elections. The Ministry of Education in the southern province has decided to close all the schools attached to the LPT area and adjoining areas.
Meanwhile, the chairman of the National Elections Commission, Mahinda Deshapriya, spoke about the ongoing LPTA Pradeshya Sabha election.
We are glad that we were able to conduct the LPTA Pradeshya Sabha elections today after it was delayed for a long time. The district returning officer and the deputy commissioner usually handle elections of an entire district. This is only a Pradeshya Sabha election, so I don't think there will be any problem. The National Election Commission has an advantage today. Our newly joined assistant commissioners are present at the voting centre as seniors. We are hoping to release the results before 10 p.m. today. The voting began successfully and peacefully at 7 this morning. The people in LPTA was enthusiastically casting their votes in their respective centres. We have tightened security here and imposed strict regulations. We have taken all security measures to let people cast their vote peacefully. The results will be announced during 3 instances. As soon as the election concludes at 4, the counting will take place in those respective centres and the results will be announced. The second announcement will be made at the 17 electorates in Alpitia, and the final result of the Pradeshya Sabha will be released thereafter.
ඊට පස්සේ ඒ සියල්ලම එකතු කළා මෙම ස්ථානයේදී සමස්ත ප්‍රාදේශ සභාවේ ප්‍රතිඵලය තමයි නිකුත් කරන්න අපි අපේක්ෂා කරන්නේ.
Former Chief Minister of the Uva province, Sashendra Rajapaksa, made the following remarks during a meeting attended by the SLPP branch union activists in Hambegamuwa.
There
is a clear set of principles presented by our presidential candidate Gotabaya Rajapaksa for the people of this country. Even people who support United National Party are pledging their support to Gotabaya Rajapaksa. The people from villages are joining with us now. It went wrong in 2015, and to rectify those errors, we all should join hands. We have a responsibility to start from where we stopped and resume all the development projects. We will fulfill those responsibilities.
Meanwhile,
former Uva Provincial Councillor Samantha Vidyaratna attended a meeting held at Haliala last night.
ඊයේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා නිදහස් පක්ෂය අපි දැක්ක සියදිවි නසා ගන්නවා අපි දැක්කා. තමන්ගේ දෑතින්ම තමන්ගේ බොටුව මිරිකාගෙන එල්ලෙනවා අපි දැක්කා.
The politics of this country is such in a state. We can see a group of people abandoned because they couldn't find their place in this election. Some just need a way to enter the parliament. They don't care about the policies or about the people, and they have no idea how to build the country.
අතරමං වෙච්ච කට්ටිය අඬ ගහනකොට ඉතින් කට්ටක් විසිකරාට පස්සේ ඒ පැත්තට එල්ලෙනවා.
Now taking a look at a tragic story that made headlines this afternoon. An elephant was killed after it was run over by a train in Valikanda along the Batticaloa-Colombo railway line.
Our correspondent said the incident took place at around 9:30 last night. The Anuradhapura railway control room said 3 wild elephants were hit by the train and one of them had succumbed to its injuries. Wildlife officials in Valikanda said the elephant, aged approximately 6 years, had faced this tragic accident when it was travelling from Somavati Reserve to Madroya Reserve. Meanwhile, the Meenagaya train also derailed following the incident, while the operation along the Colombo-Batticaloa railway line was restricted to Valikanda. The post-mortem examination of the deceased elephant is due to be carried out today.
Meanwhile, a foreigner died after falling off the 33rd floor of a leading hotel in Colombo. Police said the tragic incident occurred last night. The deceased was a 52-year-old Australian citizen. His remains have been kept at the scene of the incident under police custody for investigations. A magisterial inquest and post-mortem examination will be carried out today.
Metal detectors and X-ray machines to screen everyone entering the building. The courtroom seating 100 was packed. The Texas killings were followed just 13 hours later by a mass shooting in Dayton, Ohio, where a gunman wearing body armor and a mask killed 9 people and wounded 27 others before he was shot dead by police.
Captain of the Sri Lanka T20 international team, Dasun Shanaka, said touring Pakistan was not a challenge for him and his team. He expressed these views during a media briefing held at the headquarters of Sri Lanka cricket team after the team arrived in the island after a successful tour in Pakistan.
I've played with the team for a while now, so I don't have any big challenge. I knew their talents and potential, and I knew where to use them properly. I don't have any pressure at all. We scored less in the third match, but still I had the confidence that we will win. I told the team that we are playing with a different combination. I think we defeated the number 1 T20 international team easily. As the president of the selection committee, I have a big challenge. I have a lot of players to choose from. I think from this tour, Minod Bhanuka Rajapaksa, Oshida got their debut caps. Also, they have shown the selectors that they are good enough to be in the team. We have a big pool, and I think the bench strength has also improved. Dasun Shanaka had a lot of chances to go to World Cup, but he could not because he had an injury in the hamstring. Because of the injury, we couldn't select him. Wanindu Asaranga is the most improved player in all corners. may it be batting, bowling or fielding. We will give them a chance as soon as we get an opportunity. We are also looking for an opportunity to give them chances. This time the chance came because our senior players did not go on the tour. If they had gone, chances that Dikwella and Kusal Janith would have been the wicket keepers and Minod wouldn't have been selected.
තිබ්බ මේක මං හිතන්නේ මගේ පැත්තෙන් මං ඒක සුබවාදීව බැලුවේ.